Q&A Friday. Welcome. We made it. Today is the day where we answer all of your questions on digital marketing. And so we thank you for joining us. Let's look at those in our this week's episode of On the Brink.
Welcome to The Brink. You're joining a group of entrepreneurs, brand makers, business owners, decision makers, power brokers, and risk takers, where we discuss business and marketing issues with insightful solutions. This is The Brink with your hosts, Russell Sails and George Cartwright, reminding you that your business is either on the brink of extinction or distinction. Welcome. What's up, man? You good?
We made it.
We made it, bro. We made it.
We made it to Friday, and so have you. Thank you for joining us at On the Brink. We put our first week of this podcast in the bag with your help. We will continue to be a resource for small, middle, and large companies and brands that are looking to grow your business. So we are a small and mid-sized firm that's been around for a while, and thought it was most appropriate to start these live lunch and learns during the era of COVID-19. Everyone is looking to reshuffle the deck, and lots of things are changing right before our eyes. So we're hoping to be a resource that you can use. And so George and I are broadcasting from all over the United States and to you everywhere, wherever you are. And on Friday, we've taken some of the questions that we've received, and if you have more questions, you can ask them in the chat window. We'll if we can't address those on today's program, we will look to address those in our next upcoming episodes.
Yep.
So, yep. Cool. You want to dive right in?
Let's go, man. Let's get to the first question.
Q&A Friday, question number one. And this seems to be just a big picture question about marketing in general. And that is, what is traditional marketing and is it still relevant? Thank you for submitting that.
Yes, traditional marketing is still relevant. And digital marketing is based on those principles, basically, and just taken it and put in a different setting. Just a second. Sorry. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. The short answer is yes, it's still relevant. And what is traditional marketing? It's the tools that you have been using as a business owner or entrepreneur for some time, and maybe you didn't know the term or the name of it. That includes advertising, public relations, outdoors, events, you name it. And you can see if it's still relevant because someone is still putting money into it. And just turn on your TV and you still see ads playing. Your radio, you still hear them. You still getting junk mail, still getting direct mail, and maybe it's clogging up your office like it does mine. So that may speak to its relevancy or not, but definitely it's still there. When you think of advertising, the relevancy of it being as a part of your mix needs to still be there. But digital has indeed become the larger share of the pie. PR is definitely a need for large size businesses. They see that the most. But that move has moved towards social media marketing, or SMM mostly. And Outdoor advertising is not as effective right now because everybody's inside their house. And the same could be true, and I find this pretty interesting with event marketing, that during COVID, all of the large events had to pivot pretty quickly to being online or digital events. And we'll hear after the fact how those turn out for them. But you know, so they're still relevant. It's just those marketing dollars have definitely been shuffled around to encompass digital more completely. Next question. Next question that came in is MLM a part of traditional marketing or digital marketing? My answer to that would be MLM is actually one of the oldest forms of selling. So it's, in a traditional sense, not really marketing. If you know anything about it, it's also called pyramids and things of that nature. I've never really been a part of MLM. I'm not going to bash it. It works for some people and many people, and it usually works for those who are at the top of the pyramid. Not so much for people getting in late, but it's not part of traditional marketing per se, and definitely it's being used online. A lot of folks in social media actually use it, but it's not a traditional part of your mix. Let's see, another question as my comrade handles the tech side of the house. Here's another question. As a small business owner, shouldn't I be holding on to my marketing and advertising dollars until COVID-19 blows over? Very good question. George, are you back with me? I'm sure you'll have some insight on this as well. And I'll repeat the question. As a small business owner, and I would dare say, when you think of business, that would be organization, as in school, church, a nonprofit, what have you. The question is, what should I be doing right now with my budget? Should I be spending it on marketing and advertising, especially at a time when the world seems very disrupted? My initial response would be that you first should determine if, depending on the business that you're in, if you actually need to move your business online completely or create a digital version of it. I don't need to really tell those who have brick and mortars who have to drastically reorganize what they do, that, that's a real consideration, because life has been anything but normal. So that is definitely the first thing to address. The other question or answer would be, my response is, yeah, you should not spend any more money if you plan on going out of business. And if you plan on closing shop, then yeah, I wouldn't put any more money into it. But if you plan on maintaining and growing, because to maintain is actually to go backwards. But if you plan to grow, then you have to, I think now is the time to be more strategic about your marketing resources and not waste them on things that don't work. Efficiency is what's required at this point. We are still addressing these questions on Q&A Friday as they come in. Again, feel free to. Thanks, Don, for throwing a question out there. I see it. Let me see if I understand it. Would most organizations be classified the same way? No, they definitely would not. and I'm not sure if I addressed that with my previous response, but um, each organization needs to look and see what their actually who their audience is and what their why are they in business, what their product and service is, and if it's dealing with budgeting and your budgeting dollars for advertising, then you definitely should align those with your overall goals. So just to revisit that a little bit, if if you are a restaurant in this day and age, and you've had to completely change how people can't dine in. So right now is the time to really get into carry out and that type of thing. And you need to advertise that as such. You need to present that to, to those who frequently, your frequent customers. You need to communicate with them and let them know the changes in your business. And if you have those customers that are faithful, reward them and let them help spread the word on the changes in your business. So not sure if that helps. Keep those questions coming. Try to answer them the best way we can. Here's another question. What are the best places online to spend my ad dollars? Very good question. There are many places that it really depends on your approach. Again, my first thing would be to understand who your customer is, know your target. Create an avatar that details who they are, what their habits are, what they're spending, where they're spending their time. And wherever your customers, the potential customers, are spending their time, then you definitely want to advertise in those places, especially online. For instance, if you are targeting mid to large size companies, LinkedIn is where they usually are. And so you want to create ads that George, can you hear me? No. Okay. Gotcha. You want to create ads that meet them there, and yet it will cost you a little bit more to advertise on LinkedIn, a minimum of $10 a day. And that might be more than a small business owner, entrepreneur want to spend, as opposed to Facebook advertising, which you can do as low as $1 a day. I wouldn't advise that. I would advise putting a little bit more into that. But once you capture your audience attention on LinkedIn, you can retarget them to your Facebook ads and take them down that funnel if need be. So depends on where your target is, and it's best to understand who they are and where they're spending their time. The truth is, B2B or business to business communication, it should be P2P, people to people. And the leaders of commerce, if you're targeting larger organizations, they're on Facebook too. They're on Instagram as well. But to add depth to if you're selling something of high volume or of high value, then you need to have a lot of content around that. And LinkedIn is a better place for that. But if you don't need a ton of depth to what you're selling, Facebook is great for those audiences. So here's one. What marketing advice would you have for a service-facing business or a business that requires in-person engagement during COVID-19?
Well, so the first, what is your service, right? That's the first thing that you have to utilize. And I'm thinking of doctors in this instance that are, primarily in person. As a matter of fact, the call that I got was my doctor.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. So,
yeah.
But he was calling to check. We were, and I've also had my daughter had a dermatologist appointment, and we did a video conference where they could see, what the skin problem was and whatever. So this is a move toward technology in some cases. Again, depending on what your service is, you should be trying to figure out how to utilize technology to help you deliver that service. If you are a counselor, if you in the mental health space, you can have these kinds of just dialogue with your clients in this way. So there's certainly that, right? And then other service businesses, if you're a coach, and even if you have
fitness instructor.
I was about to say, even if you have a fitness, if you're a fitness instructor, you can do the same thing, right? There are two ways to go. You could do this around groups, maybe on Facebook or whatever, or you could develop an app that you put out content. People can download your app and they can, pay for it or whatever it is. So you can still do those kinds of things that would allow you to continue to make money.
It definitely depends. There's so much you can do as a fitness instructor, or even as an attorney, clinic, or an accountant. Avail yourselves of the technology that already exists. Everybody by now is on Zoom or Google Meet but you want to check the security around some of those video conferencing discussions or engagements you need to have with your clients. Make sure they can't be hacked, or you're taking the necessary steps to prevent that, since that's been an issue with Zoom lately. Are you back with us, G? We was talking about Google and some of the things that they have learned from there. Let me move on to the next question.
Okay, cool.
What is a digital ecosystem? I think people have been noticing we use that terminology a lot. What's all involved in a digital ecosystem?
So if you think about it, let's start at the top where people think, most often is their website. That's digital. Like that was the first place that people got introduced to. My business can be digital. And that was your website, which contained your products and services, information about those things. But that quickly expanded out to other web properties, other places. Google got into the mix and figured out that they could bring all of your business into one place. If people are searching for it, they want these different types of information that people are searching for when they search for a business and what they want. And so the ecosystem began to spread, right? And then people figured out you could be on social media, and then social media branched out and to Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and Snapchat in some cases, and Reddit and Pinterest, and all these places that now branched out under social media. And so the ecosystem is all of these entities, all of these places where your brand can be found, will be found, or that people are looking for your brand, and then how you represent it in all of those. Is it consistent across the ecosystem? Is your messaging consistent across that? Can people find you where they're looking for you? So those are, when I say the ecosystem, it be included, that would be the kind of, what I'm referring to there.
Right. Good stuff. Another question is, I've heard about using pixels in my social media advertising. What are they, and is it really necessary to have them?
Let's see. So,
the short version.
Yeah, the short version. Okay, fine. Because these are so a pixel is it's just a piece of code that goes on a web page that allows visitors to that page to be recorded. And you think of it as a cookie. I think back in the day we used to say this site, or even now too, it still says this site is a little, cookies. Yeah, this site will cookie you, or something that says like that. So that cookie is actually a piece of code that then allows that site to say where you went on their website, and then it kind of can track you, and they can tailor your experience based on what they perceive that you're looking for. So in your Facebook pixel does that same kind of thing for your Facebook advertising. People that have come to your page, they are now they are associated. They're looking for something in particular, and based on how you have your Facebook pixel set up, you can tailor what you show them on Facebook. You can retarget them with very specific information. Let's say they come to your you have 3 products, and they go and they look at a product that's a water bottle. You can then advertise to them. You say, hey, I saw that you were interested in our water bottle. We have a special on water bottles, for instance, and where they hadn't looked at yoga mats. I don't know. So, you would want to show them, hey, thanks for coming to our site. We don't know what you were looking for, but here we are. No, you can be very specific, very targeted in what you show them or retarget them with based on where they have gone on your site. So they are the piece of code, and they are used to tailor your experience with the business, or tailor your approach as a business leader, as a business owner, to tailor your approach to your customer, and based on what they are looking for.
So it's like me looking for microphone, stepping away from my laptop for a while, and then coming back and getting on social media, and all of a sudden I'm seeing microphones as I scroll through my feed.
Yeah, because somebody knows that you are looking for them, Facebook. And, so I think the interesting thing about Facebook is that the amount of data that they have on us is, it sometimes can be mind-numbing, but as a marketer and as a business owner, it's very valuable information, because now where we used to, back in traditional marketing days, we used to put up a billboard on the side of the road that said, to talk to all the cars going past. We now can, shoot the driver in the eye, almost, bam, I'm talking to you, player, Roger, in the red, Camry, So
who likes
Camrys and has an Apple iPhone, and is looking for iPhone covers, right? So you can laser target them, and that is very beneficial to your business, and particularly when you start talking about how you spend your marketing dollars and where, and whether or not traditional media versus digital media gives you a better return on your investment.
Absolutely. Do we have time for one more?
Absolutely. Let's get it.
Someone asked, I've seen changes around Google, and I know you touched on this. I've seen some changes around Google and how my business shows up on their site. What do you know about Google My Business?
All right. So that's timely, because I did just get off a
webinar?
Yeah, webinar with them, where they were talking about the changes and the trends that they've seen and some of the changes that have happened. So your business and what Google has done first and foremost, they are prioritizing the essential businesses right now. So something that is good for business is that like reviews have been slowed, that they posted and those kinds of things. So the review of those reviews have been slowed down. So they're not posting quite as fast, which is good. It gives us an opportunity as business owners to clean up that space. But the changes in this time, and even they said it, this is a time really for people to clean up their digital life. Wow. Google said that. That was their, they was like, encourage your customers right now to take this time, this kind of reprieve, and clean up your digital life. And I was like, if Google is saying that, they know, they kind of know what's happening because they got a ton of data and search data. So this is the time really to be looking at, do you have a Google My Business profile? Again, it came from different names, Google Plus, and so they had something before that did not work. But GMB or Google My Business is more pointed. They are driving people to that, and they make sure that they want to have as much data on businesses as possible at Google. So they're pulling together your reviews and your business listings, websites, phone number, allowing you to answer questions, put videos out on your Google My Business listing. So then people that are searching can do, as much and make a buying decision right at that point, as opposed to having to go to your website and, track further, because they're trying to save people time and, they're doing it.
Shortening the steps to
yes, absolutely.
To purchase.
Absolutely. That's their goal ultimately, to shorten that process, but they're finding that the process is getting shorter anyway, because people are looking at reviews, they're making decisions based on what somebody else did and somebody else's experience and some of that. So they're just trying to now say, well, this is the trend, this is the way that it's going. Let's give them as much information as possible at the first point of entry, so that they can make a decision and they can come to that decision faster. So for business owners, for us, this is an opportunity for us to get our digital life in order, get your Google My Business and those kind of things in order, so that when this ramps up, and it is coming back, they also have kind of looked at some of the other countries that are on the other side of the curve of this COVID, and kind of what has happened as a result of that, right? So how did they come out of it? When did search volume pick up? How did that relate to what search volume was, buying decisions? It's a lot of information. But the one thing that they said was, take this time, get your digital life in order, because it's coming back. And the businesses that have taken this time to prepare will benefit from this pause that we've had, or pause that we had. We talked about the blessings of COVID earlier this week, and if you have not seen that, you can see it on YouTube or catch it on Spotify. Or where else is it available, Russ?
Some other places. The list is growing daily.
Amen.
So we appreciate the opportunity to help as many folks as we can with as much information as we can give away. And for those who are in need of more customized attention, where our services are available, from consulting to providing tools that you yourself can do, you can execute, but it'll help you put yourself in a better position moving forward. There's lots of data, as George just mentioned, that the larger companies like Google are learning from China and South Korea and places like that, we'll try to share with you as much as we learn, that will help inform you, give you direction as you get your digital house in order, which now is the time to do that. And if you are a business leader or an organizational leader, communications leader of a church or conference, or you name it, you need to use this time to shore up yourself. And we're here to help.
Yeah, churches My heart goes out to churches. The vast majority of them, I'm talking probably 95% of them, don't have their digital house in order. This caught the vast majority of them off guard, like churches, pastors, first elders, board members. If you are on the board, if you like any of this stuff, you all need to talk about what happens on the other side of this. I will tell you, just because you know who we are. Our name reflects our belief, one, and On the Brink is On the Brink. We are On the Brink Marketing Group. We are here for this time. Like, this is, you know, this is why we have been doing this. We have been talking this for a very long time, but little did I know, I could not necessarily foresee that this would happen this way, but it has certainly made the conversations. I've talked to several pastors. I was like, dude, if I had done what you told me to do 2 years ago, I would be ready right now. Yeah, but this is, we're going to get a reprieve. This is the reprieve. We need to be getting our houses in order, our digital lives in order during this, this little reprieve that we have, so that when we come out on the other side of this, we are ready for the attention that will come. That includes all of your business, all of your businesses.
Cool. Last words on where else they can get more information, maybe a checkup, if you will, on the status of their business. I think sometimes people are shocked when you go to the doctor and you think you're feeling well, and then they do the labs and stuff comes back in. The doctor tells you you need to make some changes in your life. The same would be true for many a business leader, even someone who's been doing digital marketing, online marketing. It's nice to get a checkup, and we have something available, don't we?
We do. You can go to onthebrinkmediagroup.com/snapshot and get a look at your business, an in-depth look at your business. One, I'll tell you that the information is only as good as the information that you put in. One, so be honest. Like, if you put your web information in, and your social media and those kind of things, and then the tool will go out and kind of find all the information and give a honest look at what your digital life looks like. And for some of us, it ain't that good. But the best part is that it can all be fixed, and we have some time to be able to do that right now. And so take advantage of that free tool to do that, and take a look at your life, and then begin to get that together, so that on the other side of this, your business comes out healthy, and that it thrives on the other side of this. So.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys spending some of your lunchtime with us today. Appreciate the questions that were sent in. We'll look to have Q&A on Fridays. So if we'll be answering questions throughout the week, but we'll use the bulk of the time on Fridays for that. And next week's programming topics we'll dig deeper into trending search terms. We'll also look at businesses online versus digital businesses, and another topic that will start taking a deeper look, like a deeper dive into various industries, such as healthcare. So if you have an idea for a topic, don't hesitate to DM us. If you have a question, you can do the same. Or if you want to be a guest, just let us know. We'll start pinging some of you, inviting you onto the show and hearing your thoughts about your brand and your approach to getting the word out about what you have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be kind of exciting to have somebody on, let them talk about their brand, and then because the audience will learn from that, and then if they have any questions that we can answer, or if you have any questions that we can answer as a guest for you, then by all means let us know. So let's do it.
All right.
Look forward to it. Thank you again for spending some time with us. We appreciate you. Definitely.
Cool.
Social media is a powerful tool, but as a business owner, you might not have the time or know-how to realize its full potential. With social marketing, it's a breeze. By plugging your social accounts into a single dashboard, you can react quickly to customer feedback and post content across all of your main channels. But that's not all. The number one benefit from social media is to attract new leads. And that's where social marketing gets really exciting. Using geo-targeted keyword searches, you can attract customers who are sharing their experiences and purchase intentions on social media. For example, here's Emma. Say Emma is passing through Seattle. She arrives at her hotel only to find out that they've overbooked, and now she's got nowhere to stay. Emma immediately sends an angry tweet to her 2,000 followers. You're a competing hotel manager, and since you're using social marketing, you detect Emma's tweet and are able to send her a reply within minutes. Emma's thankful for the response and comes to your hotel. She enjoys her stay and goes on to tell her friends how amazing your business is. Social marketing makes finding leads, curating content, and keeping customers happy that easy. Get in touch with us today to see how social media can strengthen your business.